Ukraine's recent operations in occupied Donetsk shattered Russia's assumption that its troops and command nodes there were safe. Moscow believed long-range drones could be intercepted and that Kyiv lacked precise locations of key headquarters. Instead, Ukraine demonstrated the opposite, a coordinated decapitation campaign that located, targeted, and obliterated multiple Russian command centers with lethal precision, turning hidden bases into infernos and leaving no safe haven. Multiple outlets, including Euromaidan Press, reported that on the night of September 8th to 9th, Ukraine struck several Russian command posts, including one embedded within civilian infrastructure in Donetsk. Additional details from Militani, citing OSINT groups Dnipro OSINT and Siberoshno, describe how these strikes devastated Russian positions used by the 41st Combined Arms Army and the 20th Motorized Rifle Division. While the exact location of the 20th MRD remains undisclosed, Militani indicates elements of the 41st CAA were inside the Donetsk Research Institute of Complex Automation. Both sites appear to have been wrecked, diminishing Russia's manpower and command capacity ahead of a planned fall offensive. If the dual blows had been the full story, it would already be significant. But Ukraine also targeted the long-abandoned Topaz factory in Donetsk, repurposed by Russia since early in the war as a command hub and storage site. According to Euromaidan Press, an army-level headquarters was operating there, though the units are unspecified. Videos shared on X by the user Necromancer show multiple detonations and telltale small mushroom clouds, indicating the use of heavier munitions than typical long-range drones. Follow-on footage reveals raging fires and widespread damage, reinforcing that a more powerful weapon was employed. A final clip, filmed from an apartment, captures a whizzing approach and then a central explosion at the Topaz complex, again with a small mushroom cloud. Kyiv Post cites Ukrainian officer and blogger Kirilo Sazonov on Telegram, emphasizing Topaz as the biggest target that night, a sprawling, Soviet-era industrial complex with ample space for warehouses, workshops, and staff, and possibly a headquarters hosting a very senior Russian commander. If accurate, Ukraine may have eliminated a high-ranking figure along with the facility. The Sun's YouTube video adds a crucial piece. Around the 1:16 mark, a fast-moving object streaks toward Topaz, far swifter than a typical drone, before a powerful detonation. Euromaidan Press speculates Ukraine used domestically produced Pekla, Hell, or Bars missiles. Kyiv Post goes further, pointing to geolocated imagery and silhouettes matching Pekla. Kyiv Post also notes at least 5 Pekla missiles were launched at Topaz, with major blasts within roughly 30 seconds shortly after 7:30 p.m. local time. That volume suggests a deliberate salvo, not a one-off strike, and that additional missiles likely hit the other 2 targets the same night. So what is Pekla? Defense Express describes it as a very recent Ukrainian hybrid cruise missile/drone, first confirmed in late June. Externally reminiscent of a small jet aircraft, it reportedly uses a compact jet engine, enabling much higher speeds than standard long-range drones. Limited publicly stated specs indicate top speeds around the high hundreds of kilometers per hour and sufficient range to penetrate deep behind front lines, exactly what occurred in Donetsk. Militani's earlier reporting says Pekla uses autonomous inertial navigation with GPS correction, with more advanced guidance under development to counter Russian electronic warfare. While the warhead weight is officially undisclosed, estimates suggest up to roughly 50 kilograms. Critically, Kyiv Post highlights that the majority of components are domestically produced, increasing Ukraine's autonomy from foreign supply constraints. Given Russia's frequent claims about its air defenses, one might expect intercepts. Yet Kyiv Post observes that videos of the September 8th strikes show no appreciable anti-air response, no surface-to-air missiles, minimal small arms fire, and only a lone missile trail after the fact. Russia's Ministry of Defense later boasted of shooting down dozens of Ukrainian drones across multiple regions on September 9th, but remained conspicuously silent about Donetsk that night. The visual record contradicts the narrative. Missiles hit their marks and Russia said nothing. Beyond the immediate damage, the timing matters. Russia reportedly plans a fall offensive in Donetsk after a summer push that failed to meet objectives. RBC Ukraine and others note that while Russia seized more territory in June-August 2025 than in the same period of 2024, it still fell short strategically, suffering huge personnel losses for marginal gains. Analysts expect renewed pressure on key objectives, such as Prokhovsk and Kostiantynivka, aimed at breaching Ukraine's fortress belt. By decapitating command nodes and degrading planning hubs like Topaz, Ukraine weakens Russia's ability to coordinate and sustain attacks from dominant terrain around Donetsk city, whose high ground confers observation and fires advantages, as RUSI's Nick Reynolds told the BBC. Ukraine's goal is not merely to blunt Russia's fall plans, but to open windows for its own future offensives. Euromaidan Press frames these strikes as groundwork for retaking parts of the oblast. Recent reports from Le Monde note that Ukraine halted the Donetsk advance and regained settlements near Pokrovsk, to further analysis emphasizing the fortress belt's importance, underscore how crucial it is to prevent a collapse that could lead to rapid Russian gains. The message is clear: decapitate the enemy's command, create gaps, then exploit them. That approach hinges on quantity as well as quality. President Volodymyr Zelensky has reportedly set a target for producing thousands of domestically made cruise and drone missiles by year's end, reducing reliance on Western approvals that have constrained use of foreign long-range systems. September's salvo in Donetsk was a preview. If Ukrainian projects like Pekla and the long-range Flamingo, which Kyiv Independent says is entering mass production in winter, scale as planned, Russia faces a deeper, more frequent menu of strikes across its rear. In short, Ukraine didn't just unleash hell in Donetsk, it demonstrated a template for dismantling Russia's operational architecture ahead of the autumn campaign.